Peace and blessings, y'all. This is your boy Gerald. It is the 15th of January, 2016. How is each and everybody doing? All right, you've made it through your week. Hopefully, you've sidestepped the negative, grounding your feet, speaking your truth. Now, this week was very eventful, now, wasn't it? Had a lot of people focusing on the uh, the Powerball. I think it made it all the way up to 1.6 billion. Yeah, I think it was 1.6 billion dollars. And even though the amount was so high, there was a couple of things that kind of crossed my mind. Now, before I go into this video, I want to put out a disclaimer. No, there's nothing wrong with your volume. I'm actually getting over a short cold. This is the winter, and in my professional life, I work in aviation, so I'm out there in the elements. Just like that commercial driver, just like that postal worker, just like that person that has their job requirements to be out in the elements. So I'm out there too. But I also have come to understand in my life that sometimes you have to be still. Sometimes you have to allow yourself to rest. And sometimes you must listen to what is coming from inside out to give you the proper steps to get past whatever it is that may make you feel uneasy. I know I'm talking to someone. So I got a slight raspiness in my voice, but it too shall pass. Because I know somebody right now, I feel your energy. It's like, I need to hear something from Gerald Davis. What is he talking about? Now, anytime that you give me a moment out of your life, keeps me, there is no words. I am truly humbled to have access to you. And it's because your life is priceless. I'm going to keep saying it until I do not have another breath to convey it, because no one will see your life through your eyes. No one will be able to feel what you feel. No one will understand what's going through that beautiful mind of yours. That's why expression and action is oh so important. That's why it should be protected. That's why when you hear people say, be careful what comes out your mouth, because when you let those words fall from those beautiful lips of yours, you can't bring them back. So there's a requirement that you be accountable for your actions. And I think a lot of you are noticing that now. Oh, yes. Yes, you are. You're starting to understand that things are getting a little bit too real now, unlike before. Uh-huh. I know I'm talking to somebody. You turned around and thought that you had everything figured out. You used to say to yourself, what is the odds that I be in one place and this person cross paths at the same time, and it has manifested? Not once, not twice, but multiple times. And you are feeling a certain kind of way because you still don't want to acknowledge the fact that God is real. You don't want to acknowledge that angels exist. You don't want to acknowledge that, yes, demons are around us every day. Because see, you think you got your life figured out. You think that you are the captain of your ship and you will navigate it as you see fit, but to run upon the rock called a distraction, hit a piece of debris called denial, or run ashore to something known as being delusional. See, these are things that were never supposed to happen in your life. But I would like to think this. If those setbacks, those sidelines make you a better person, then ground your feet and go through it. Because see, until you make a conscious choice to be able to look yourself in the mirror, how can you actually say to yourself, I know who I am? And if you can't say that, you know who you are, how does it surprise you to say those three beautiful words, I love you? You can't love you if you don't know you. But try as you must, you allow people and things to water down your steps. You allow things that have no growth to take up your precious time. Do you realize the moment that you took that first breath? Let me put this in a better perspective. You were not guaranteed your first breath. You know that period of time of when the child comes out of the womb and comes into the atmosphere, there's no guarantee that you are going to live. That's why so many times you hear about the term stillborn. Because how many times have you seen, you've heard this, a child is birthed and doesn't even make it through the first 24 hours, but you look at the child looks healthy because it wasn't meant. I know I'm talking to somebody because you know somebody that's gone through that, huh? If you think for 1 second that every bruise, every scar, every disrespect that was ever given on your name or your life has no validity in your direction, why do you get up? Because until you make a conscious decision to give a damn about yourself, your life means nothing. That's real talk. Because you are giving those things a platform to validate what they did to you. That's not right. So there is a requirement for you when you are knocked down. You're not expected to know all the answers when you're knocked down, but you're expected to get up. And actually, the knocking down phase may be your blessing because guess what? We already know when you're down, the people that are in your corner, 9 times out of 10, real recognizes real, those people fall from you. And the people that divinely love you are going to be right there when you get up. But see, I know some of y'all know that too. Some of y'all have actually convinced yourself from choices made that if you had ability to turn back the hands of time, you would, because you realized that there was somebody in your life that came to you and said, hey, I see more in you than you can see in yourself. Hey, that's not the way to go. Hey, you don't deserve that. Hey, why are you considering this? And what did you do? You just brushed them off like they were dandruff and you kept it moving, only to walk into more pain. I know I'm talking to somebody. So now we can get past all the tomfoolery right now. Yeah, people talking short and talking slick on a whim, known as the lottery, saying what they would do and what they wouldn't do if they hit the ticket. Don't you realize your life? I spoke this in the last video. You are the lottery because it's your life. If you can think it, you can be it, but it's going to require work. But see, I understand. I understand. Because see, the world that we live in today, the whole archetype is I want you to consume. That's right. I want you to take it all in. So what? You wake up and you're a diabetic. So what? You wake up and you have HIV. So what? Your life is just another life. Don't you realize there's something called the 7 deadly sins? Gluttony is one of them, and we're living in it now. Why do you think there's so much abundance going on? Why do you think that when you do something that you should not do, it comes like rain? It's because that devil wants to convince you that's all you're going to be. I know I'm talking to someone. So you're waking up today and you're looking at your bills and you're seeing the amounts add up. Never did you take accountability when you ran them up, but you're looking at them statements and them phone calls are coming more and more and it's starting to get to you. But you got that one friend that says, that's okay. I got a friend that got a friend that can hook you up. And you actually have the audacity to entertain that. Let me tell you something. Isn't it apparent that you see these women out here swinging off that pole, walking that block, making deals with their flesh? They all have a commonality. The revenue that is generated from those exchanges is never enough to make up for the pain that you're going to feel unforeseen. I know I'm talking to you. But these are your friends. Never the one did one of them say, well, you know what? We can go out here and exploit ourselves. And we can be just like Sally Mae over there. Because see, Sally Mae checked out a long time ago emotionally. That's why you're starting to see those tracks on her body. That's why you're seeing the weariness under her eyes. You know why she's got weariness under her eyes? Because the eyes are the window to the soul. And she's crying so much inside that it's starting to reflect out on her features. And that's why she looks old. But these your friends, right? Why is it your friends pulling you to the side and say, hey, you know what? This is not the way that you need to go because I'm learning from my mistakes and I don't want you to make the same ones. So how about this? I'm going to put some time down. We're going to go and we're going to pound that concrete. Don't want to pound the concrete? We'll jump online. We'll get some leads that way, and then we'll make our presence known. Did you know that you have a greater possibility to be hired when you're prepared. I know somebody saying, I know that, Drew. I do it all the time. There's a reason why I'm saying this. When you invest in anything you do wholeheartedly, you always will get the harvest. So, say there's a job that you desire, but that's not the job that's available. Why won't you step out of your pride and ego and take something for the time being? I know I'm talking to someone. You turn around smacking your lips, rolling your eyes, and you're saying that's below me. But guess what? The people below you are doing better than you. I know I'm talking to someone. Don't you realize you will never get a free pass living on this planet? And you definitely won't get a blessing if you don't know God. And I say that sincerely. God is not the Alpha and Omega for a reason. Listen, if you think that you were born on this planet to see the world on your back, I'm here to tell you, you're deceived. If you think getting in a relationship out of convenience is going to be the measuring stick of your dreams, you are deceived. You'll come to realize both of those things shorten your expectation. I think someone already knows that, because now you realize that all that glitters is not gold. That's why you always hear, fake it to make it don't get you nothing but a lost amount of time. So, why won't you claim yourself? Huh? Hmm? Hmm? Here's another thing to take in. There's nothing wrong with being a original, one of a kind. Now that's your life. But everything that was original took time to be built. That's why you hear people say this: imitation is flattery. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because when you come to realize the effort that it took to imitate that original, you could have put that on yourself. That's why you see 100,000 Beyoncés, 100,000 Rihannas, 100,000 Jocelyn's, and whoever out there. But you know what you don't see? You never see that person when they struggle. You don't hear about what they had to sacrifice. You only see the harvest aspect. So you are emulating the effects of what the investment was. So if those effects were already done for you, how can you see the value and worth? Some of y'all know. Let me tell you something. If you are under the age of 25, this message is specifically for you. Number one, have the courage to admit to yourself that you got to make changes. Have the courage to love yourself. If you can't even stand in the mirror and look at yourself naked and feel a certain kind of way, you don't know yourself. Because you'll come to understand as the days go by, you're looking at an original. If you have a hard time saying the most blessed words you can ever hear. I love you. And that doesn't resonate inside you, you don't know who you are. And you'll easily be deceived. Because there'll be many people that will throw those things, throw those words of gestures to you. And guess what? You will see no foundation. You will go with the flow. I know I'm talking with someone. Somebody's waking up right now. They're saying, you know what? I've had an addiction problem over a third of my life. It has cost me time. It has cost me friendships. It has cost me money. And there is no benefit in it. And you're starting, you have the courage now to stand up. Because see, you're tired of having those dreams you have. You're tired of feeling a certain way in the morning. You're starting to understand that it was you that willfully put yourself in hostage against your emotions. Why you think you feel a certain way when you see a couple out there and they are engaging with themselves? What I mean by engaging, that means they are showing affection. I'm not talking about the ones that you see that are just happy to be sucking on each other's lips, because that's nothing but show. I'm talking about those that have that true chemistry. You can see what's going on without a word being said. You can tell that she is with him and he is with her. And I know deep down inside, some of you that are listening to this, that's what you really want. That's what you wanted for Christmas under that beautiful tree. You wanted someone to love me for me. But instead you had to settle for a consolation prize that had a price tag on it, thinking that it would be okay. Well, what does your heart say? What does your mind feel? And what does your environment reflect? Because see, you're going to always have those people that they made a conscious decision a long time ago to check out or sell out. You can say that. They sold themselves out because they think that as long as I can base my mentality and my finances on this world we know here, I'll be okay. And every day you have to lie to yourself. Every day you have to take a spoonful of that denial to get through your day. I know I'm talking to somebody. You married to her because of what she brings to the table. You married to him because of how he make you feel. But the problem is there's no love there. I know I'm talking to someone. You said it to yourself. This is my husband, but I feel like a prostitute. This is my wife, and I feel like a little boy. It's because you're not yoked. It's because it was never built off of genuine love for each other nor yourself. So you turn around trying to keep up with the Joneses, but don't you realize the Joneses don't exist unless your last name is Jones? But what if you're a Thomas? What if you're a Davis? What if you're a Smith? What if you are a Williams? Does that have a lower standard when it comes to living your life? I think not. I think not. I think not. So it amazed me to see how people would flip-flop and switch about a possibility of becoming millionaires overnight, and how brash their attitudes would be influenced with the possibility that, yes, this could be my brass ring, only to wake up the next day in the reality that was theirs. Don't you realize, y'all? I know this is for somebody. Anything that is ordained by God, you can't stop. Try as you must, you will fall short because his will shall be done. But if you don't know who you are, why are you mad that your life ain't playing out the way it is? I know somebody's catching this. You emulating everything that your girlfriend's doing, and you try to do it on 10. But little do you know, your girlfriend's only there by circumstance. And deep down inside, she has resentment for you because she sees her essence in your actions. I know I'm talking to someone. And unfortunately, people are hit with the reality of this. Now you got a charge. Now you got a major setback. And now it has to be dealt with. Yes, you were the belle of the ball. You was Mr. Party. But where are your friends now? Where are they? How amazing people get forgotten. But see, this was something that was always historically that way. See, when you are on top in your mind, everybody wants to be around you. But when you don't, they don't know you. We are what we attract, y'all. You can't be feeling a certain kind of way when it was you that opened that door. And even if the door was open, you chose to walk through it. Don't you realize sometimes when things are open to you does not mean you're supposed to walk through it? I talked about it. These are all spiritual doors. These are all derivatives of free will. So now, you waking up and you're pregnant. I know I'm talking to somebody. The people around you had told you, leave him alone. The scars and the bruises that came along the way should have told you long time ago, this is not blessed. But you didn't want to hear it. And now, your life is going to be changed forever. But the ironic part is this. The friends that are never there for you are there now to give you advice on how to handle it. And they're telling you to make a choice. Do you invest in yourself and carry this child to term? I know I'm talking to somebody. Or do I go and see that man to make this choice go away? Let me tell you something. I've never heard or never seen a potential mother that chose to have an abortion not have emotional scars. Especially when those months come around when you knew. I know I'm talking to somebody. You knew that child would have been this age. Let me tell you something. You need to pray on this. And guess what? Your answers will be given because see, that's how God is. That's how God is. He's not going to give you nothing that you can't withstand. You better believe that. And maybe that might be your breakthrough. Maybe this period if you do opt to carry this child to term, maybe the option is give the child for adoption. This is one of those decisions that you can't be selfish, because it's not about you, because you got another life inside of you, which may be your blessing in disguise. I know I'm talking to someone, but see, I got this feeling. I got this feeling in my spirit because I know somebody's been in some turmoil this past week. I felt your energy. Yo, yes, I did. I felt it. Had me up. It's messing up my sleep. But guess what? Every time I had to wake up, in them wee hours, I prayed. Gerald stay prayed up. Oh yes, Gerald stay prayed up. Gerald keep burning that sage, keep them negative energies and demons away, because it's not part of my walk. I done been there. And some of us know that as a spiritual storm, but that's okay. Because guess what? When you go through your spiritual storm, it is the most blessed time of your life when you come through it. Because what's going to happen? It's going to force you to go within yourself. Because see, you know, the devil's a liar, right? He is. Huh. See, that's when the devil thinks he's got you on the ropes. Oh yeah, he is. He takes account of everything that you've done. You got to remember, the devil was God's number one angel before his ego and pride cast him out. Before God said, I know you're not. So you got to understand, he's got his own bag of mysteries too. Look, you're dealing with something that I can't even speak on. I got chills right now. But see, because God loves us so much, every time that devil says, okay, remember what you said? You said you wanted this, with this, and with that. Voila. And you think that's your blessing, to see that is your burden? What happens? You see all this disappointment going down. Well, why do you think the disappointment is there? Because God has his angels to offset every attempt. So that's where that pain comes from. To remind you, this is not where you're supposed to be. I know I'm talking to someone. So you gotta take a step back. You gotta pull up a chair. You gotta be still. And some of y'all are so angry. Some of y'all have the audacity to feel like everybody's coming at you. When in actuality, it's you coming after yourself. That's right. Let's talk about that spirit, that beautiful spirit. You keep listening to your little friends, and they keep putting you up to stuff. And then finally, you meet that person, and they seem like they got it going on. Words that come from their mouth sound like honey. You feel like you're alive, to only find out that they're married. The devil is a liar. Somebody's saying, well, that's what I'm talking about, Gerald. That's not fair. I was deceived. I was trying to get it right. No, you weren't. You was trying to be an opportunist. Because if it was meant for you, you would have did the work. You would have prepared your life, and you would have had the checks and balances needed. So you got to understand something, y'all. God is not going to always, God's not going to be there when you want, but he's always there on time. I know I'm talking to someone. Is that your validation? Do you hear me now? Because I hear you. I feel your energy. Yes. That's got the hair standing up now, huh? I bet you it does. Because see, there are certain people connected to your life that will inherit the ability to know your legacy, to know your story from account, from true account. And then there will be some people that will be with your life to a certain point, and then they are broken from you. Why? Because they didn't do the work to know your life story. I know I'm talking to someone. You sitting over there crying over your abuser. This guy treats you less than a piece of gum. He has verbally, physically exploited you with your permission. You've actually taken on his spiritual characteristics. Don't you understand, or don't you see that spiritual brainwashing that was going on? And you think you have the audacity to be slicker than the other bear, the extra bear, as I like to say. Instead of learning from the lessons, you turn around and take those same woes, those same tricks to apply it to someone else. Don't you realize a soul tie when you see it? Look at your life now and look at where you were 7 years ago. What has changed? What was the progression? What was the price? And where was God? Only you know that. So when they say you reap what you sow, you better believe it. Because until you do, you won't grow. What is a tree that grows sideways? I'll tell you what it is. It's a missed opportunity. Because those roots were not fertile. The tree should have grown straight up and branches extended out to deal with whatever God decided to pass through it. Does it surprise you nowadays the trees are dying? How about the bumblebees? Yeah, even those yellow jackets, they're confused. I know I'm talking to somebody. When it got warm, what did you see? Horse flies flying out in December. Are you crazy? You don't think we're in our last days? The term last days is figurative. It's metaphoric. It's a marker to identify the things that should be in natural order has been perverted. But she got you swinging off the chandeliers. She got you willfully exploiting yourself with the audacity to challenge what she does or what she says. And you go on with the flow. Public Enemy at one time had a song out called Who Stole the Soul? I'm a big PE fan because every song they put out, there was a message. There were actually two messages, sometimes three, embedded in a track that they did. But more importantly, y'all, we are the lost children of Israel because we lost, some of us. You remember Moses convinced the Pharaoh to let his people go, but it took them 40 years. They marched around that mountain 40 years before they changed the way they saw the world. Instead of trusting God in front of them. And a lot of people didn't make that journey. There was a lot of people that didn't have faith. It wasn't the faith in Moses. It wasn't the faith ordained by God. It was the faith in themselves. So let's look at today. Do you realize how blessed this day is? I know somebody's saying, you say that, but you ain't got all these burdens I got, Gerald. But you could be dead. You ever thought about that? You didn't have to exist. And that's why you over there flirting with suicide. Let me tell you something. There is no easy way out of your life. If you think that sitting on the end of that bottle, end of that bed with that bottle and them pills is going to remedy your pain, that ain't nothing compared to what you're going to walk into. Maybe this is the time that you'll actually get off your high horse and accept to yourself that you made poor decisions with your life. But guess what? You still got a whole lot of life to live. I know I'm talking to someone. And you're required to see that for yourself. I can't make you do that. I can't. Because you're thinking now, well, Gerald, I'm only 25 and I done slept with 250 guys. My image is splashed over the internet and people look at me with such disdain. Let me tell you something. It only validates if you stay there. It only matters if you decide not to change. But if you have the courage to do something different, that is nothing but your testimony. Does it surprise you that you have not been afflicted with a life-altering disease? Let's make this clear. We can put up all the wordplay out there for, oh, he has this and big words, medical words. No, I believe these are spiritual afflictions that come from the spiritual realm. And see, sometimes God gets tired. Remember, I told you, God will give you nothing that you can't withstand once you claim your life back. I got a feeling somebody right now, you so frustrated with your marriage, but in actuality, you have a relationship with your girlfriend. Yes, you do. She stay in your ear. If I was this, I would do that. If I was, he should have did. Can't you see the rubber between the road? Of course she wants you to get frustrated because she wants to be you. I know I'm talking to someone. See, she don't have the courage to tell the truth. No, she don't. Shame the devil, tell the truth. But secretly, deep down inside, she likes your taste and companionship, no matter if they have knocked you upside the head, no matter if they have stolen from you, no matter if they brought their addictions to your door. Secretly, she wanted to be you. That's right, my kings. You all about scratch and sniff. You lose your mind because of a shape. But yet you don't ask the right questions. Everything seems sweet on the outside, but yet you don't look within yourself and you compromise your worth. Never did you want to know the truth. You say, well, what I don't know won't hurt. But you wouldn't say that when the truth comes, or when that guy comes out of the shadows threatening your life. I know I'm talking to someone, because see, it'll be too late to talk then. What you would do and what you won't do. When in actuality, that was beneath you. You got to understand something, y'all. We got principalities going on that are there. Look, when they say spiritual battle, it is exactly what it is. There's a battle for your soul. And the devil wants nothing more to catch you slipping. So if I gotta find if he's gotta turn around and bring a woman that looks like the most beautiful person you've seen to knock you off your step, imagine what God has in store for you if you follow. I know I'm talking to someone. What you're seeing is the watered down presentation of what you should have. But I know there's somebody saying, but Jerry, you don't understand. He makes me feel so good. I've never been with another man like this, and I don't want to let go of what he does to me. That is nothing but his strong suit. That is nothing but his distractor from the truth. Because if you decided to ground your feet and ask the appropriate questions, you would know what to do. I know I'm talking to someone. You aligned yourself with someone because the fact of you like them older. You said to yourself, I can't deal with anybody on my age group because they're immature. Maybe you're not supposed to, because the man that is supposed to be in your life is being prepared. But you will never know that because you've got Uncle Ben over here with the Friday night special. but yet you have the audacity to be embarrassed out in public when you're with him. Don't you realize anything that you do behind closed doors, if it doesn't validate out in public, you shouldn't be doing it? But I know that I'm talking to someone. So now we're getting ready to step into the weekend, and you've never cried as much as you have in your life. See, the beginning of this new year should have been blissful, should have been another platform to build off of, but the reality is you're alone. You are dealing with the pressures of life, and it's starting to show. Your emotions are very thin. And now that you are trying to make sense of what's being revealed, you feel that if you put a false shield around you, it will protect you. But little do you know, it exposes you even more. See, the people that you partake with know your weakness. And every time that you say no, you end up deeper and deeper in depression. How much pain you got to go through before you get off that high horse? How much loss you got to go through before you'll finally do something different? How much agony do you have to carry in that emotional backpack before you say, well, you know what? Maybe Gerald was right. I couldn't hurt. Let me go talk to somebody. Because, see, I know that's somebody, I know you're going through that right now because you realize the people that are in your circle never had your best interests. I know I'm talking to someone. Yeah, you're dealing with betrayal issues. You're dealing with betrayal issues because that's all you've done. Instead of grounding your feet and speaking your truth and asking the questions needed so that the investment is more strengthened, you pack your stuff and leave. You catch the next bus that's going to nowhere. And you're surprised that life brings you right back where you began. A little older, a little weaker, and more alone. See, you can't run from you, y'all. You can't. That's why people have actually laughed and poked fun with you, and you've got that little pet name on it because you are more known for your tricks and what you do behind closed doors, and you know they're telling the truth. But the truth is, they should have never heard you breathe. The reality is, you don't have the courage to walk away. You say to yourself, well, I could walk away, but where am I going to go? I'm not prepared. And you're mad. Then you got the people in the cheap seats say, well, I told you this is what you should have already done. But take note, look at their lives, look at your lives, and you will see a commonality. You're not growing. You're not growing and you're not going anywhere. So it doesn't matter if your waistline gets thinner and your hips get thicker and your breasts get suppler and your lips get fuller. It doesn't matter because it doesn't hold a candle to that heart. Are you feeding your heart? Are you nourishing your spirit? Are you loving yourself? So once again, it goes back to what I said in the beginning. Do you know who you are? Are you loving on you? Some of you crave intimacy so bad, you willfully give it to anyone. mailman, cable guy, or anybody that's got a clipboard, thinking he's the one. No, he's the next guy, or he's the next contestant of Who Wants to Be Your Burden. You're not supposed to win on that. Because see, what you don't see is the person that you destined to is relying that you make the decisions that you make today. That's your investment. If you're one of those people that think, well, I'm not living my life unless I have a companion there, you're not living your life. Because you come to understand that your mate will never be able to complete you. You complete yourself. All they do is validate the state of mind that you have. So if you're in a relationship where it's fighting, there's a lot of lying, there's a lot of distrust. Look at your partner. Look at the company that they keep. Look at the company that you have. And more importantly, if you really want to get down and dirty, look at your family tree. Because see, these should be the people that uplift you. These should be the people that will always have your best interest, even when you can't see it. But you got to have the courage to accept it. You have to have the courage to do something with it. Every time that you have that blessed breath, like this one right now, see, that is not guaranteed that it's supposed to go in your lungs. You're not guaranteed that you're going to wake up tonight. You're not guaranteed that you'll make it from wherever you are now. So when you're going to start investing in you? Huh? For that queen that you're saying to yourself, I'm going to be single the rest of my days because I didn't burn my candle out. You worried about the fact that you didn't slept with 4 times the amount of men, which is kind of funny though, because, and I'm not mocking you, but it's like, because since we don't know who we are, we're constantly searching. You know, it's kind of like going to the grocery store and you're in the fruit aisle. Instead of buying a bunch to take home, you just pluck off of it. Don't know if it's been washed. Don't know if it's sweet. Don't know if it's sour. We just pluck it because it's there. Don't you realize sometimes because it's there doesn't mean you're supposed to touch it? Remember, that's what your parents said, look but don't touch. How about discern and don't act? Because if you come to that mindset of understanding, you'll come to see that that's how the devil does. He gonna put everything out there that you want. Oh yeah, in that midnight hour, and you got that sexual urge, and you looking at your cell phone, you're saying, and you scrolling it, you say, I wonder who am I gonna call tonight? And you having these conversations like, I will call him, but he got child issues. Now, I would get with him, but he broke all the time. I would get with him. Now his breath smell. I know I'm talking to someone. You say, I wouldn't get with him, but he got anger issues. But you know what you don't see in that listing? You don't see you. I'm asking you to pick you. Because if it's meant for your life, you're going to see it. You can't run from it. It's your life. So now we can get past all the distractions. You didn't hit the Powerball. So you can kill the wishful thinking. Maybe you wasn't supposed to, that wasn't your time. Maybe if it's meant, it's coming. But you know what's going to be amazing about those people? God bless them. If they are not grounded, they're going to squander every dime of it. We always see that play out too. So I hope that with this blessing that is given, they truly protect it. Lastly, stop holding on to 2015. You can't get 2015 back. You are in 2016. It's required that you learn from the mistakes that you made in 2015 and pass. This is your wisdom. Unless you're going to make a conscious choice to hold on to the choices, the behaviors from last year to this year, until you decide to look at things differently, the approach will be the same. And all you're doing is continuing the burden one more month, one more year. Look, you got 11 months to make your dreams a reality. Have you guys sat down and come up with an outline of things you want to accomplish in the next 6 months? How about the things you want to accomplish in the next 5 years? These are little small things, y'all. These are little things that make big blessings because they're you. I know there's somebody right now that's saying, well, Gerald, you know, this is the year I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to make a mass transformation and I'm going to reemerge. Is it blessed? Are you doing it for you? Because if you're doing it for her, if you're doing it for him, it's not going to turn out the way you think it is. I know I'm talking to somebody. If you're doing it because you think that, well, if I come out with the new and approved me, I could just put it in their face, how you like me now. Let me tell you something. Those same people are going to still look at you the same way. So, what does it take for you to love on you? You owe it to yourself. How about those people that you don't know? Those real relationships. How about those people that are not even born yet that you're going to be in contact? I know I'm talking to someone. You are going to make an impact in a child's life. You don't even know them yet, but you will. That's why I said in my last video, for those who think that parenthood is not going to be something that they will ever have because of choices made, you may feel that you're unable to conceive a child. No, you're going to have that. That's going to be part of your legacy. You know, or you may, I love guys. You may have that guy that says, well, you know, I want to build everything with you, but I can't have a child. I'm sterile. No, you're not sterile. You were spiritually blocked. I know I'm talking to someone. God stepped in and said, you will not procreate with this person to conceive a child. They're saving you from undue pain and undue stress because the person that you are willfully putting yourself aligned with is going to be your biggest burden. And they don't want that child to be born into that union. That's why I know some of y'all have been doing this. You've been doing this on the low. You flirting with your divorce. I know I'm talking to somebody. You're saying, I got to get out of here. Ain't no amount of money in the world going to keep me here because you know that you're living with a demon. And your friends don't understand why you want to pull up those tent stakes and wrap them up and go somewhere else because they said, well, look what he gives you. You wanted security. He got you this big house. You drive a luxury car. He takes you wherever you want. Why would you walk away from that? But the truth is, there's no love there. You know it, and your heart can't lie. You know that that was nothing but a relationship of agreement. So you might as well been the kept woman or the kept man, which is really selfish because when you think about it, how can someone honor you if they don't marry you? So what do? They throw a ring on your finger to keep you passive, saying, oh, it's going to come, especially if you're doing the work. But what they don't tell you is this, because they're so selfish. They say, well, you know what? I'm going to take you out of circulation so the next man can't have his blessing, only to drain you from the inside out. This person treats you like a prostitute. Self-esteem is so low, you don't even look up when you walk. Everybody sees it. And you're saying to yourself in silence, how did I get here? Because that devil is a liar. So it's time for you to have that conversation with God. It's time for you to confess your sins. It's time for you to atone. Every person that you have wronged, you speak their name, and ask for forgiveness. And depending on how sincere it is, you know what God does? He'll give you an opportunity to say it in person. Yes, he will. I've seen this play out. Because see, God will move you where you need to be at the time he needs you to be. Why you think you hear the songs you hear on the radio? Every time you go to work or get home, come home, there's a certain song that play, and it brings you right back to them, to that person. Because God is using that form of communication to talk to your heart, to talk to your soul. And it feels a lot uncomfortable now, don't it? You ain't crazy. You just lazy. Just call a spade a spade. I used to be there. But what's at stake is your blessings. And you deserve to be happy. But it does not matter if you do not know who you are. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. Love each and every one of you. But that don't matter. What matters is you have the courage to love yourself. To look that beautiful person in the mirror when you step out of that tub or that shower, and you tell that person, you know what? It's going to be okay. No matter what you're facing, it's going to be okay. You have that conversation with God. And after the time has passed, trust has been instilled, he'll let you interact with the angels too. And then that's when you start to manifest. You'll start to see what synchronicity is all about. But it sounds more easier than it is. But let me tell you something, y'all. I don't care if you're 75 years old. If you're not living your purpose, you ain't living. If you look at your life and you can say, this is done by pride, this is done by my ego, and take accountability, I guarantee you, your life is going to change. Because guess what? All things that was not meant for you will be blocked. That's why your friends are acting up. That's why when you're having a conversation with them, they talk all bold and brazen like you don't even know each other. Sometimes you look at them and they act like you're a stranger. Why? Because spiritually you're not connected. You never was. I got a feeling right now somebody is having intimacy issues physically. The doctor has told you some things and you're pretty shook. And if you don't get it together, it's going to cost you your life. Let me tell you something. This is all about honoring your body, honoring your spirit, that temple, you, because there ain't going to be another you. But the more that you get in tune with God, your spirituality, I'm not talking religion. Religion is nothing but a root word for pattern, consistency. Spirituality is a connection with Him. The commonality is we believe. We believe in something that we can't see. That's what walking in blind faith is all about. But guess what? Only person you're faking is yourself. Because He knows what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, the moment you took your first breath. So the only thing you're doing is delaying your happiness. And I know some of y'all know that too. So stop telling yourself, if I can only turn back time. Stop it. If it's divinely meant for your life, guess what? You'll have it. You'll see it. You may even see them again. But guess what? They'll be made new because it's blessed. I would love to hear from you, y'all. You have a blessed and safe weekend. Bye.